Oh, who's in Shamas? Erev Tov, everyone. This week's parsha begins with the mitzvah of Bikurim. The Mishnah Bikurim says, "Adam yored letoch sadeu." The man goes down into his field, into his orchard, and he sees that the first fruit of the season has blossomed. So the samta batene, you'll put it in a basket. The Mishnah says the wealthy people had fancy baskets, even of gold and silver. The plain people had wicker baskets of reeds. And you go up to Yerushalayim, Beveisa la Kohen, and you bring it to the Kohen who is there. Lokach hatene miyodecha. The Kohen will take the basket. So good, so that's Bikurim. But the Torah adds, Boniso v'omarta. But you have to say something. And it's strange what we say becomes the basis of the Pesach Haggadah, where all the drushes of Chazal on these psukim are recited by us. Why do you have to say anything? And not only that, what do you say? Arami Oved Ovi, you're in Mitzrayim, a whole story. You bring the korban, you bring what you are supposed to bring, you bring it, and that's it. What is the Torah teaching us? The Torah teaches us overriding values through individual mitzvot. And oftentimes, because we are interested in the minutiae of the mitzvah, that we don't realize the overriding value that's being taught here. And the overriding value here is, to put it in one word, gratitude. So one would think if you bring Bikurim, you're a farmer. That's the worst job in the world, because you're subject to all sorts of vagaries that you cannot control, weather, disease, pests, all sorts of things. The famous economist John Kenneth Galbraith was the son of a farmer in Canada. And he remarked that no children of farmers ever attended agricultural schools. They didn't want to be farmers. The only ones who wanted to be farmers were people who'd never experienced it. But if you experienced it, you're not anxious to do it. So one would think, therefore, if you're in such an occupation and you're subject to so many things that can go wrong, and at the end of the day, you're subject to all sorts of economic forces that you cannot control. So if I bring the Bikurim to the Beis Hamikdash and I pray, I should pray, Rebbeinu Shalom, give me a good crop. Give me a high price. Give me customers. Give me a reward for my toil. That's not the prayer. The prayer is gratitude. Thank you that you saved Yaakov Avinu. Thank you that you took the people out of Egypt. Thank you that you brought us to Eretz Yisrael. Thank you that I can live in Eretz Yisrael. And that prayer of Koreh, of the Bikurim, is the same in a bountiful year. Bountiful year. The Torah doesn't say, and if you have a good crop, so then you should say it. The Gemara says if you have 2 figs, then you have to say it already. You can't feed a family on 2 figs. Especially so who likes figs? But the Torah wants to emphasize to us that Ribono Shel Olam wants our gratitude. And therefore, every day in life is a gift. So you have to say thank you. Every good event that happens to us, you have to say thank you. Not only that, even things that are not good. That's what Chazal say, Geshem shemevorchim al hatov, kach mevorchim al hara. You also have to say thank you. It's not limited to our judgment as to what is good and beneficial. I remember once, I may have told this anecdote before. After 30 years, I probably have told you all my anecdotes, but you don't remember them, so it doesn't make a difference. So I had the privilege when I was in Muncie that I was associated somehow with Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha, a great and good Jew, unbelievable person. So I used to drive him and his Rebbetzin into the city from Muncie when we both had to attend a wedding or another event. So I was the driver, and Yaakov sat next to me, and Jackie and the Rebbetzin sat in the back. And they got along fabulously. It was an experience to go with him. Those of you who are familiar with the New York area know that one of the great bottlenecks in the city, for which there are many, is the entrance to the George Washington Bridge. And there were times in Muncie that you waited 30 or 40 minutes to give them the money that they weren't entitled to. So this was a hot July summer day. The air conditioning in the car was less than perfect. It was a time when rabbis didn't drive such illustrious cars. And I think we waited 25 minutes to pay the toll. We finally got to the toll, and I gave him a $20 bill, and I think the toll was $18 then. And he gives me back $2, and I zoom out to get across the bridge. And Yankov bends over to me, he says, Rabbi Wein, you forgot to say thank you. You forgot to say thank you. He gave you correct change. It's hot for him too. He's not happy with the job. You didn't say thank you. How can it be you don't say thank you? I was at a banquet many times for the Punavish Rav. So at the end of the banquet, when everybody comes up and everything, we're all ready to go home. And I say, okay, Rebbe, I'm going to take you to the hotel. The Rebbetzin was with him too. And he says, "Ein minute, wait a minute." I say, okay, what? So he says, where's the kitchen here? So I find the kitchen, and I go with him into the kitchen, and he thanks the chef, the guy. None of them were Jewish. So he said, Madame Sogan, Adank. You have to say thank you. So that's an attitude. It's not just an individual event. It's an attitude. I know that people find it hard to say thank you on this past year. It's not the year that we wished for. But on the other hand, we have to say thank you. We have to thank you all it was. We have to thank you that it could have been far worse. We have to thank you for the position that we're in. And what the man with the Bikurim said, Alor Tzatova Asher Nosata Lanu. Privilege of experiencing it in Eretz Yisrael. I know it's late, but just one more. I noticed in talking to my children in America and to other people in America, I'm still more popular in America. People call me. They are far more traumatized than we are. They're far more desperate than we are. We even don't know rockets fell on them. And it wasn't their neighbors and sons that are missing this year on Rosh Hashanah. So we have to say thank you for that too. That's all part of the halacha of Mevi v'Koreh. We have to bring the Bikurim, but we have to say the Parsha, and the Parsha is a Parsha of gratitude. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Yomer Ratzak HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakos Yisrael Leficha Hirbo Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar. I don't know if I've had some on Sitko Yagil Torah.